The conference report's an excellent video. I couldn't agree with you more. I also appreciate that kind of philosophy and those sorts of approaches. Um, and But it's sort of too easy. I'd hate to call it, light reading or something, because I do believe in sort of an idea of a poet philosopher, and I think it's an important aspect of philosophy, and that and that this poetic side offers, at least some sort of reagents that, such that a purely analytic, um, sort of hard one, line by line, careful, complete, valid, this kind of analytic approach that is impotent without some of the creativity and the poetic force. And really, they do go together, because if you do understand, the physics in detail, and then get poetic about it, then there's a back and forth. The problem sort of is, if you only want the physics for poets, you're not really going to understand physics. And as you say, it's kind of too easy. I wanted to you made me you made me think about something else too. You were talking about it should take more than an afternoon. Yes. What about a lifetime? Or and then what about if you're a child, 3 lifetimes later? In other words, when will these things become intuitive? Because that's what I think. I think we probably don't understand it well enough now to commit it to intuition, quantum mechanical, what the quantum field is, or how it behaves exactly. Maybe we're not ready, but really, the issue is over time. I think we evolve. A sense of intuition and common sense. This is all evolving, both biologically and socially, and we actually, I think, can make anything intuitive so that it makes sense. Um, Now I'm right here in this era. I'm not evolved 1,000 years in reaction to what I'm learning now, but I'm changing, and I'm leading to that evolution in some sense by engaging these questions. And so, can we, 1,000 years from now, imagine that a human being who will not be much more evolved than us, in a lot of the physical senses, but socially and conceptually might have changed quite a bit, could we expect that it is possible to turn like the strangeness of quantum mechanics into common sense? And I think so. And it's just sort of a faith and a belief, and it's a hard thing to prove, but I think anecdotally, um, I feel it's quite possible, because I think in relativity, I can't say I totally have gotten how time can be relative and stuff, and there's some weird mathematical things that when I think about are just like, wait, it still doesn't seem to make sense. So I definitely have not, internalized the kind of state I'm talking about. But compared to when I was young, and it was like, how can time possibly change? Or people that go, no, that's impossible. You can still tell people about uh, time and space distortion. Like, no, that's not possible. I'm like, well, it's been tested. This part's been tested. It's very hard to get that idea, and I got that now, and it makes sense to me. It makes sense in the sense that it couldn't be any other way. Because if you believe in a relativism, then it's like, yeah, that has to turn out that way. Weird, but it'd be weirder if we could figure out the center of the universe. So, or if we weren't all at the center of the universe. So it'd be weird if things weren't relative, because then there'd be some brittle sort of contradiction. So you could turn these things into common sense. And so, what do you think? Do you think quantum mechanics can be turned into that? And how many lifetimes? And also, can it be done with the human brain just rearranged that we have, or does it take evolutionary timescales? Do we do does the for us to make common sense of quantum mechanics, would we need to have a different kind of brain wired different? My own guess is that no, I don't. I think we could do it with the variability we have in wiring ideas now, with the more or less our brain. Um, Not to comprehend the whole thing. I'm just saying to make common sense out of something like, the quantum, the QM version of cause and effect. That suddenly that would make more sense. Okay. Cheers.